Dear Black comic book collector, how did you get here? What was the moment you saw your collection and realized you didn't see you? Did you lament over the reality that 99% of your collection contained nobody that looked like you? Or were you just happy to see a black face every now and then? You know, your Storms, your Luke Cages, and Black Panthers. Or did you have a moment? A moment when your face beamed with excitement because just like when you enter into a restaurant filled with seemingly no one but white people, you look around and you see black people. You see, it's natural to want to see your face. That was Simba's biggest problem growing up. He had been around a wild hog and a meat rack so long that he forgot who he was. He forgot about his father Mufasa, and Rafiki had to take him down to the river and show him who he was and where his father had always been. He looked down into the reflection of the water, and his life at that moment changed. My moment was in the spring of 1977. The book was Black Lightning #1. I saw this black man with a fro putting hands on some white guy. And oh, sure, I had seen comic books. I had even seen Luke Cage, but Jefferson Pierce was my moment. Ever since then, I wondered if I would have another moment. And sadly enough, I did not have another moment until the summer of 1992 with Spawn #2. Funny thing is, initially, you do not see Al Simmons as a black guy, but he's learning about his powers, and so he wants to see if he can change into his natural form because he wants to see his wife, but he fails. And he looks at his hands and he sees that he has the hands of a white guy. And then he remarks, "Not again, this can't be. I am a black man." So even though Spawn isn't largely admired by black comic book fans, perhaps due to the comic book being a horror comic, Spawn is black, and his wife Wanda is a black woman. And no, Spawn is not your typical black character. He fights anyone who dares to try to take his peace from him. He fights demons and angels. And interestingly enough, the story began as a love story and morphed into something darker along the way. However, he did fight the Klan once. Issue 30 depicts Spawn being hung by a rope. So it wasn't immune to racism. Unfortunately, that is the case too often with black men. Anyway, fast forward a couple of decades, and my long boxes now have healthy numbers of melanated people, whether it's Milestone from the 90s, several volumes of Black Panther, Shadowhawk and Nighthawk, John Stewart's Mosaic Run, Captain America and the Falcon, Falcon solo titles, all the way up to Bitterroot, Excellence, Philadelphia, and many others. The point is, while I can and do enjoy characters that are historically white, like my brother William Foster so eloquent states on the cover of his book about black representation, I myself am looking for a face like mine. I don't want to collect comics like the way Simba was living, hanging out with rats and pigs, when in reality, I'm a lion, and lions hang out with lions. How many Timons and Pumbas have you in your collection? And I know it's a cheesy way to look at collecting, but as a black man, I manifest life as a melanated being. You walk into my home, you see black faces, you see black books. You know that a black family lives in my home. So if you are unapologetically black, then your collection should reflect that as well. Sure, you can have your Superman and your Batman. You can have Clark Kent, and next to him is John Henry Irons. You can have Bruce Wayne, and the next to him should be Luke Fox. Next to Peter Parker, there should be Miles Morales. Now, I know folks don't like race-bending characters or unoriginal characters. Either way, Jericho Drum is available, as well as Adam Brashear. And don't forget my homeboy, Jefferson Pierce. You see, representation matters. So to my black comic book collectors, represent. Peace.